One of the most popular verse is found in Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. But is the context behind this verse equally popular? Can we really do all things? Let's look at the context behind this here in Ask UECP. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, is one of those popular verses in the Bible. We see athletes use this verse to somehow draw supernatural power, a magic mantra for people hoping to see their dreams come true, like job promotion, success in business, or even passing board exams. Does this passage really mean that we can do anything that we set our minds into? And what happens if we don't make it? Is it God's fault? Because He didn't give us enough strength. Now, context is vital as we draw out the truths in God's Word. At that time, Paul was in prison. And in those days, a prisoner has to provide for his own material comforts and accommodations. The resources may come from his own pocket or from friends and family. The church in Philippi was one of those friends who helped Paul by sending him monetary support and other necessities. So Paul thanked the believers in Philippi for their care and thoughtfulness. And more importantly, Paul used his extremely difficult situation to share what it is to be content. Now, the word content means to be sufficient, to have enough. Problems are inevitable, and we may not even be delivered from our many problems. But Paul points us to Christ because Jesus strengthens distress and dispirited believers with his contentment. Paul experienced how meager his resources were, yet it was sufficient. How little food there was left, and it was still enough. Because God sustained him in the midst of his problems and needs. How will things work out now that I'm jobless? Is your business struggling from poor sales? Or worse, it's about to close? Are you having a difficult time trying to put food on the table? Is the piggy bank running on empty? You may be anxious and worried, but do not let your dire circumstance steal your contentment. Remember, true contentment comes from God, as God enabled believers to be satisfied and be content in the midst of any problem. That is what Paul really means when he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13 is a powerful verse, and if understood and applied properly, it will enable us to glorify God because His power is displayed magnificently.